My name is Stephen Sindoni. Thank you for tuning in to Legend, Mystery, and More. In today's program, I will share a story about a man named Richard Milton. The story you're about to see is called, Is Darwinism a Plot to Control History? The information from my research was gained in a book entitled Underground, The Disinformation Guide to Ancient Civilization. I will read excerpts from a chapter entitled Archaeological Cover-Ups, A Plot to Control History, written by author Will Hart. Born in London 1943, Richard Milton has been a writer, journalist, and broadcaster for more than 30 years. He has been an ardent true believer in Darwinism doctrine. After 20 years of studying and writing about evolution, he suddenly realized that there were many disconcerting holes in the theory. He decided to try to quiet his doubts and prove the Darwin theory of evolution to himself by using the standard method of investigation and journalism. Milton became a regular visitor to London's famed Natural History Museum. He painstakingly put every main tenet and classic proof of Darwinism to the test. The results shocked him. He found that the theory could not even stand up to the rigors of routine investigative journalism. The veteran science writer took a bold step and published a book entitled Shattering the Myths of Darwinism. Scientists did not hesitate to launch the most outrageous personal attack against those they perceived to be the enemy. Why would scientists try to hide the truth and avoid any tests of their hypotheses? Since the theory of cultural evolution has been tied to Darwin's general theory of evolution, even more is at stake. Darwin's theory of evolution is the only theory routinely taught in our public school system that has never been subjected to rigorous scrutiny, nor have any of the criticisms been allowed into the curriculum. The scientific establishment tends to reject, suppress, or ignore evidence that conflicts with accepted theories while denigrating or persecuting the messenger. There is also a secondary problem for researchers concerned with establishing humanity's true history in that the goals of nationalists or ethnic groups who want to lay claim to having been in a particular place first often dovetail with the goals of cultural evolutionists. The public does not seem at all aware of the fact that the scientific establishment has a double standard when it comes to the free flow of information. We have no idea how many enigmatic artifacts or dates that have been labeled error and tucked away in storage warehouses or circular files never to see the light of day. Modern science is now a maze of such filters set up to promote certain orthodox theories and at the same time filter out that data already prejudiced to be unacceptable. One of the 20th century's most distinguished scientists and Nobel laureates, physicist Max Planck, asserted that a new scientific truth does not triumph by convincing its opponents and making them see the light, but rather because its opponents eventually die and a new generation grows up that is familiar with it. Someone had to be responsible for carving men fighting with dinosaurs, men with telescopes, and men performing operations with surgical equipment, and someone also created drawings of lost continents. So what is the scientific establishment afraid of? The word is control. They are afraid of losing control, the same word that applies to why the United States government gives religious organizations tax-exempt status to promote Darwin's theory of evolution and sell the biblical creation story. I'd like to share with you now other related books where you can do your own research and you can make your own decisions about the origin of man. Underground, The Disinformation Guide to Ancient Civilization, edited by Preston Pete. And in this book on page 317, the chapter that I read from today, Archaeological Cover-Ups, A Plot to Control History, written by Will Hart. I will also include the book The Genesis Race, also written by Will Hart. And the scientific investigative reporter who I featured today, Richard Milton, his book, Shattering the Myth of Darwinism. And Michael Cremo, Forbidden Archaeology. I ask you to do your own research and not be dumbed down by people like Bill Nye, the science guy. I myself have found ancient petroglyph markings chiseled in stone in Dunsmuir, California, that predate the Bering Strait theory. And through the research of people like von Daniken, Zachariah Sitchin, and Will Hart, I have come to the same conclusion, that humanity is the result of a genetic cloning experiment by an advanced race that lived among their creatures in ancient times. It is my hope in the not-too-distant future the answer to the true origin of man will be revealed. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Legend, Mystery, and More. Is Darwinism a plot to control history?